Viewers, the big story. The inevitable is happening. In Maharashtra, the government that was built on contradictions today, it appears, is on a knife's edge. This government, of course, is led by the Shiv Sena's Uddhav Thackeray. It is a coalition government, and it is a government that was put together quite hurriedly after the BJP staked claim a few years ago and decided, in fact, that it would cut out the Shiv Sena. Massive turn of events today, though, because it appears that the BJP might be getting its own back, but not because, at least on the face of it, it is leading the charge to unseat Uddhav Thackeray, but because Uddhav Thackeray's own party is collapsing. What we know, viewers, is that Eknath Shinde, who is a top leader of the Shiv Sena, the putative deputy in the cabinet, really, of Uddhav Thackeray, a loyalist of the Thackeray clan, has led a coup, an audacious coup, to unseat the chief minister. If sources are to be believed, the rebel faction claims the loyalty of at least 40 MLAs, which means Eknath Shinde, who leads the rebel faction, can easily split the Shiv Sena without attracting the provision of the anti-defection law. In simple terms, then, Eknath Shinde's split from the Shiv Sena will be recognized under the law. Yes, viewers. The Shinde faction will then become the real Shiv Sena, while the Uddhav Thackeray Sena will be reduced to a sliver, the runt end of the Shiv Sena. Shinde can then go ahead and tie up with the BJP to make a government by staking claim before the governor. But of course, viewers, no change will happen without a no confidence vote being held on the floor of the assembly. But viewers, pull up the numbers first to give you a sense of where things stand. What do we know? The Sena, after the revolt, Uddhav Thackeray faction of the Sena has only 16 MLAs right now. The Sena rebel MLAs, which is the Shinde faction, claim to have the support of 39 MLAs. The NDA right now is at about 113 in the House. As it stands, the majority mark is 145. The NDA and the Shinde-led Sena rebels together, if they were to tie up, just do the maths, 39 plus 113 would be 152, which is above the majority mark. Now, viewers, the question arises, and I'm sure all of you are asking, why has Shinde decided to break the Sena? We are told he did this because he felt that the Sena under Uddhav Thackeray had betrayed Bala Saheb's Hindutva legacy by tying up with what he called our pseudo-secular parties like the Congress and the NCP. In his last tweet, he sent out this clear message to the heir of the Thackeray legacy, and let's pull out that tweet and put it up on air. There is a graphic that we have made there. We are Bala Saheb's staunch Shiv Senics. Bala Saheb has taught Senics Hindutva. We never have nor will cheat for power and won't compromise on Bala Saheb's ideology. This clear message to the heir of the Thackeray legacy was sent via this tweet. And viewers, what it says is that he can no longer work with Uddhav Thackeray, who has sold out the entire saffron legacy of Bala Saheb Thackeray. Now let's very quickly go straight across to Shivani and Arunil. They both join us. First to you, Arunil, because we know that the Aghadi still claims it has the numbers. How solid is that claim, Arunil? You are outside Varsha, the Chief Minister's residence. You've been there for a few hours now, and you've been seeing a large number of leaders of the Aghadi, of the NCP, the Congress, show up there to hold talks with Uddhav Thackeray. Where are these talks? What exactly is the score on the board?
Well, Rahul, these are unprecedented and unimaginable scenes that are unfolding in the financial capital of the country. Because who would have imagined? You just pointed towards the fact that Eknath Shinde's Shiv Sena will be the main Shiv Sena with respect to the kind of support that he's enjoying at present. And with only 16 MLAs with CM Uddhav Thackeray, he will used as the B grade of the Shiv Sena party. He can easily avoid the anti-defection law if the MLAs are more than 2/3 of the 55 MLAs that are there in the Maharashtra Assembly when it comes to Shiv Sena. Now, speaking about Varsha, I've been reporting from CM Uddhav Thackeray's official residence. A series of convoys have reached over here. There is a show of strength that has been initiated by CM Uddhav Thackeray. The meeting has already started. That's what we can confirm. The meeting about the coordination committee of the Maha Vikas Aghadi, Ajit Pawar being one of the top leaders, Jayant Patil, the NCP Maharashtra chief, and Balasaheb Thorat, along with Sanjay Jha and CM Uddhav Thackeray. Also, one crucial development that we can confirm to our viewers was that Milind Narvekar, the personal secretary of CM Uddhav Thackeray, who had reached the Surat hotel. After that, there was a conversation that had indeed taken place between CM Uddhav Thackeray and between Eknath Shinde. The conversation lasted for around 15 minutes, and Uddhav Thackeray asked Eknath Shinde to come over here and have a formal meeting over here at Varsha. Eknath Shinde just said one thing, that I am not doing this for my personal interest. We are not happy with Congress and the NCP. They were arch nemesis of late Balasaheb Thackeray.
We've heard the reasoning. What we want to know is that Uddhav Thackeray will survive the night, and that's the fundamental question. I want to go straight across now to our reporter who's outside the hotel in Surat. Shivani, there's a very important outreach that happened about an hour back. Eknath Shinde is there with an unspecified number of MLAs, rebel MLAs. First of all, how many does he have with him? Number one. Number two, is there any possibility of Eknath Shinde going back to the fold? He's already given an ultimatum, back the BJP or I'm gone. But can there be a dramatic development where he goes back to the fold?
Well, definitely, Rahul, here a dramatic development is all what we are expecting at the moment. But still, when we are reporting from that particular hotel where all of those MLAs are staying with Eknath Shinde, as you can still see, the barricading still remains the same. In fact, let us clarify the numbers. Those are there inside. That along with Eknath Shinde, there are 32 MLAs of Shiv Sena, which is a very clear number that we are bringing to our viewers. 32 numbers of MLAs of Shiv Sena and 4 independent. So the number has reached to 36 at least, which is confirmed. That 32 people from the Shiv Sena are solely, supporting Eknath Shinde, and also when there are 4 independent MLAs, those are supporting Eknath Shinde. The tally has reached to 36 officially. And yes, of course, it has been said that more number of MLAs will be added to this particular list, and that is why we see that. Really sorry for that what we are seeing at this particular moment of time, that more addition will definitely be taking place, and that is why the cabinet meeting timings have also been changed. In fact, on every Wednesday, the cabinet meeting takes place between 3:30 or 4:30 p.m., but it has been called at 1 p.m. just to have a count head of those people. Those are supporting CM Uddhav Thackeray, but because definitely now the tally is more than 50% of the MLAs are in the courts of Eknath Shinde, and that is why the fear is clearly visible. After several meetings, cabinet timings have also been changed. All of those MLAs.
Well, let me tell you, viewers, 50% will not be good enough. Two-thirds. Two-thirds is what is required. That is about 66% of the MLAs must be with Shinde for him to break the party without attracting the provisions of the anti-defection law. Now, no one has done a parade of their MLAs. Neither is Uddhav Thackeray and neither is Shinde. So a lot of it, of course, remains a matter of conjecture in the absence of physical evidence, photographs, etc. But viewers, you know it is serious when people like Pawar, when people like Ajit Pawar, Sharad Pawar, when people like the Congress brass in Maharashtra all land up either talking about this issue, reacting to this issue, or then meeting with the Chief Minister. There is no doubt that this is a serious threat to Uddhav Thackeray's government, and he might be losing grip on power. But let me tell you, viewers, is Shinde right when he says that the Thackeray's under Uddhav and his son Aditya have actually let down Bal Thackeray's legacy? Let's have a look at this. Let's look at where the Sena seems to have compromised on its saffron credentials. You have, of course, the Nashik Commissioner's rule, no bhajan on loudspeakers within 15 minutes. Nawaz fallout after outrage, the police officer in charge was shunted. He was transferred. Then, viewers, Aghadi locked up the Rana couple, 14 days jail for threatening to recite the Chalisa at Matoshri. Congress alliance with the AIUDF and ISF. Sena remained silent when Congress allied with communal forces in Bengal. Gyanvapi and the Kashi dispute, Sena's silence seen as abandonment of the Mandir issue. Then there was the AIMM backing the Congress in the Rajya Sabha polls. Sena accepted AIM's support to its Aghadi partner. And then there is all this conversation about how no action was taken against AIMM MPs Imtiaz Jalil, who incited on the back of the Nupur entire controversy. Now, I want to go straight across to our viewers. Let's go straight across also to our guests. And I want to ask some basic questions. Sajid Supariwala is here with us. He's member of the Shiv Sena, a spokesperson. Vijay Krishna, a Sena-leaning political analyst. Sanjay Jha, also there with us from the Congress. Let me first begin with you, Sajid Supariwala. Has Uddhav lost the trust of his party MLAs? If not, why is Eknath Shinde, number one, participating in a cross-voting, number two, sitting in Surat?
Okay. First of all, let me clear one thing. As we are getting the updates regularly and incidentally this happened, and we are already going through what we are watching right now. From morning this has been going on. One thing is for sure, that all the Shiv Senics are Kattar Shiv Senics. Once they become a Shiv Senic, the people who have deserted Shiv Sena, everybody has seen unka haal kya hua hai. They have been nowhere.
I'm only asking you a very specific question. I'm not asking you to tell us who is a Shiv Senic and who is not. I'm only asked you a simple question. Let's get to the answers. You have this bad habit of taking me all around town. Just hit the answer. I'm asking you a straight question. Has Uddhav Thackeray lost the trust of those who speak up for Hindutva in his ranks? It's a simple, straightforward question. And I'm asking you, if not, can you tell me why Imtiaz Jalil has not been arrested, for example? Or why the Ranas were arrested for wanting to play the Hanuman Chalisa?
You have only one. Do we have only these things?
But I'm not saying it. This is Shinde saying it. I'm only asking you, is Shinde right?
You know what is a Hindutva? Let me come to that. Let me come to the point. What Eknath Shinde Sahib has done and said is immaterial to me. I just remember those words of Bala Sahib Thackeray and Uddhav Sahib Thackeray and Aditya Sahib Thackeray, that our Hindutva is progressive Hindutva, our Hindutva is real Hindutva, taking along everybody, and not, do you think, creating fights,
progressive Hindutva? Was it progressive when Sanjay Rawat said that we brought down the Babri Masjid in precisely 17 minutes? I'm asking you, was that progressive Hindutva?
Rahul.
Question to you, Supariwala ji, please answer the question.
I'm not coming out of your point, I'm talking to the point now. Let me speak. If you are asking me a question, please let me portray my own opinion. No, let me do it now as a Shiv Senic. If I am putting forward something, if you are calling me on TV to discuss this to your point, if I'm not being able to say, then how will I be able to portray what is right? Can I go ahead?
Yes, please speak up.
Yeah, the thing is that Uddhav Sahib Thackeray's Hindutva is the real Hindutva, which has been in the times of Bala Sahib Thackeray also. It is not wrong or bad to take along every community, be fair and just to everybody in Maharashtra. Maharashtra politics is not like other states where BJP politics and UP politics is going on in certain states. We are talking about Maharashtra here. In Maharashtra, we all are Mumbaikars and Maharashtrians. We do not differentiate between Maharashtrians in the form of caste, religion or so. Now we are talking about the MLAs which have been gone with Eknath Shinde Sahib. Those MLAs will not desert Uddhav Sahib. They have not left Uddhav Sahib. I am sure that there are certain things under discussion with our Honorable CM Uddhav Sahib Thackeray and the MLAs and Eknath Shinde Sahib.
Karan Verma, Shubhrastha and R. Rajagopalan. Mr. Rajagopalan, do you agree? Mr. Rajagopalan, do you agree with Supariwala? Do you agree with Mr. Supariwala? Do you believe that Eknath Shinde is just talking through his hat, that he doesn't understand, Uddhav Thackre's Hindutva? Let me get the other side.
I'm not at all agreeing with Supariwala. The reason being, there is a catch. Rahul Shivashankar, there is a catch. The reason is, the point of Mr. Uddhav Thackere government is in a great crisis. And either Uddhav Thackere government people are in jail, or on bail, or in hotel. That's all. There is no government. And apart from that, today Sharad Pawar wanted to install his daughter, Supriya Sule, as Chief Minister of Maharashtra. That is why Eknath Shinde revolted. That is what I have, that information. What Sajid Supariwala said is absolutely untruth, wrong.
Untruth and wrong. Okay, let's open this up further.
If you're talking about that, do you have the facts? Do you have the facts with you right now?
I only can tell you, sir,
right now?
and 1 minute, I'll tell you what the facts are. The facts are, at this particular juncture,
now the government is doing perfectly well.
Mr. Supariwala,
doing perfectly well.
Okay, listen to me, please.
MLAs who have gone...
Listen to me, please. Listen to me, please.
Yeah.
I'm not saying this. This is Mr. Eknath Shinde, who's a very senior leader of the Aghadi. Will you agree that he's a senior leader? At least yes or no? Very quickly. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's a senior leader. Now, this is what he says. Viewers, not me. This is not Rahul Shivashankar speaking. We are Bala Sahib's staunch Shiv Senics. Bala Sahib has taught Senics Hindutva. We never have, nor will cheat for power, won't compromise on Bala Sahib's ideology. So what he has said. And he's gone on to suggest
Bala Sahib's ideology is not being compromised.
Not being compromised. Okay. Karan Verma.
The way
is it being compromised or not? Shubhrastha. Karan Verma first.
But people who are deserting.
Okay, let's hear from the others. Let's hear from the side that is sympathetic to Mr. Shinde also.
I'm coming to your point.
No, Mr. Supariwala, let me answer you now with facts. Let me answer you. No, let me answer you with facts then.
Without me saying
Mr.
anything, you
Eknath Shinde today has summed up what every Shiv Sainik feels. In fact, what every person in Maharashtra feels. When sadhus are lynched in Palghar and no extra protection is given to sadhus, and Uddhav Thackere goes on to say, now you have to moderate him. I have to speak now.
As Bala Sahib Thackeray's Hindutva is carrying
forward the legacy, Supariwala have the guts to hear me out on facts.
All the Shiv Senics have gathered. I just came back from there. All the Shiv Senics
sadhus are lynched in Palghar and your police fails to provide them protection.
Our leader is Uddhav Sahib Thackeray.
Rahul, I'll have to moderate him so that I can make my point.
Uddhav Sahib Thackeray and Aditya Sahib Thackeray.
I am talking about Uddhav Thackeray only.
I do not study.
Supariwala, please, you need to be a little disciplined. No one interrupted you. You need to be a bit disciplined, sir. Supariwala, Mr. Supariwala, the points are being made by Mr. Shinde.
With this point, let me continue here.
No. Lower is fader. I'm counting till 3. 1, 2, 3. Lower is fader. I can't have people speaking over other people. It's ridiculous.
Let me make my point.
Okay, Karan Verma, make your point.
Yeah. When sadhus are lynched in Palghar and Uddhav Thackere goes on to say there was no communal angle and fails to provide them security, that is where you cheat on Hindutva. That is where you betray the mandate of people. When you do a flip-flop on CA and walk out of Rajya Sabha, that is where you let us down. When you align with a Congress party that is in alliance with ISF, with AIUDF, that is where you let down people and that is where you betray the core plank of Hindutva. Today, Uddhav Thackere has left what got him to prominence. Today, Shiv Sena, the Shiv Sena we all knew, Bala Sahib Thackeray, Hindu Hirday Samrat, Hindutva Samrat. Today, he has let that mandate down and people are not going to forgive him for that. Am I audible? Rahul,
Yes, you
am
are
I
audible. Karan Verma, go ahead. Finish your point.
So, Rahul, am I audible? Please?
Yes, you are. We are hearing you. CA, walkout, RS, flip-flop, Conga alliance with ISF, AIUDF. Finish your point.
Thackeray, who reveres Vinayak Damodar Savarkar, he's always lobbied for a Bharat Ratna, and he sits on the couch with a Congress party that doesn't miss out a single opportunity to insult him.
Okay.
That is when people know that you have betrayed Hindutva.
Okay.
You have let your people down, and that is why the cadre is deserting you today. That is why your MLAs are deserting you today. You deserve to be in the spot. Rahul, it is only poetic justice today that the Shiv Sena is suffering from its own doing. You reap what you sow, and all you sowed was politics of convenience and not politics of ideology and conviction.
Okay, Mr. Supariwala, no one has heard you. You have been muted. So there's no point shouting. Just calm down. We can't hear you. We can't hear you, sir. We can't hear you. Please, I've muted you because we wanted another person to make his point. Now you can rebut him, but after I bring in Sanjay Jha. Let me bring in Sanjay Jha and Vijay Krishna. Sanjay Jha, I want to ask you a very simple question. Do you support the Bharat Ratna for Veer Savarkar? Simple question.
Well, you know what? Let's address the elephant in the room.
No, I'm addressing the elephant in the room. This is the elephant. The elephant is Hindutva. So, no, I'm asking you the question. Now, please. Sanjay Jha, please answer the question. Please. I beg you. I'm asking you a question. There's a reason I'm asking you the question. Please cooperate with me. I'm asking you, do you support the Bharat Ratna for Veer Savarkar?
The straight answer is no.
No.
Now, like, can I go ahead and address your question?
No, one
Number
second.
one,
One second. No, I'm not. Just 1 second. It was only supposed to be a yes or no answer. Please, I haven't asked my second question. Now let me bring in Mr. Supariwala. Mr. Supariwala.
Hello.
Mr. Bal Thackeray, 1 second. I'm coming to you. Let's do this method, with some method. Give me 30 seconds. I know what I'm doing.
Okay.
Now let me come to Mr. Supariwala. Mr. Supariwala, you just heard one of the Congress's spokespersons say that they do not support the Bharat Ratna for Veer.
And I stayed very consistent with it.
You're fine. You've said your point. The Congress, you're very consistent with the Congress point. Rahul Gandhi calls Veer Savarkar a coward. He doesn't call him Veer. He believes that he is a person who is invested in spreading hate and was instrumental in creating the beast that he calls is a polluted form of Hinduism, and he terms it Hindutva. He's compared the RSS to the Islamic Brotherhood, etc., etc. We all know where you're coming from, Sanjay Jha. So you have categorically stated that the Congress party doesn't support.
Mahasabha murdered Mahatma Gandhi.
Yeah, okay. So you do not support a Bharat Ratna for Veer Savarkar. Now this is something that Balasaheb Thackeray advocated himself. He said he wanted Veer Savarkar to be given the Bharat Ratna because for him Veer Savarkar was one of his intellectual icons, mentors. So I'm asking the Shiv Senic spokesperson Vijay Krishna. Vijay Krishna, if your own alliance partner doesn't support what Balasaheb Thackeray wanted, then how is Shinde wrong when he says that by embracing the Congress you have betrayed Balasaheb Thackeray? Vijay Krishna, could you please answer this question?
And I'm waiting for you to come back to me so I can complete.
I will, sir, I will. Vijay Krishna.
Thank you, Rahul Shivashankar, for having me in the debate show of yours in Upfront. Let me take a deep breath. Today is International Yoga Day, and I would like to be a Sthita Pragna. You have asked a wonderful question. The answer to be put to Sanjay Jha has already been answered. As a Shiv Senic and a respectful Indian citizen, I always support Bharat Ratna for Swatantra Veer Savarkar because he was also a freedom fighter like Jawaharlal Nehru and Mahatma Gandhi ji. And the beauty of our democracy is to differ with each other. So when BJP allied with PDP and whose leader is an avid Pakistani supporter and who always advocates the genocide of Hindus, did anybody question the nationalism or Hindutva of Bharatiya Janata Party? The first question. And the second question is that today that you're alleging taking some political crisis brewing in Maharashtra, that a few MLAs left Shiv Sena and or else allegedly kidnapped by BJP and kept in a wonderful city called Surat. I would like to ask one single question. Mohan Bhagwat ji recently said that we should not try to trace out Shivlingas in every masjid. So should I call RSS that it has given up Hindutva?
Mr. Krishna,
please
Mr.
think about
Thackeray,
it, Rahul Shivashankar. Hindutva is a wonderful concept which believes in Vasudhaiva
Thackeray wanted the Bharat Ratna for
20 seconds, please.
Veer Savarkar. The Congress doesn't want it. Why have you then teamed up with a political party that goes against one of the core beliefs of Balasaheb Thackeray? That's the question, Vijay Krishna. Can you answer that?
That is what I'm saying. Balasaheb Thackeray ji always hated Pakistan, which is an
what
Islamic
is Pakistan got with Veer Savarkar? I'm asking you. He wanted the Bharat Ratna for Veer Savarkar. The Congress called. No, the Congress called.
She is a Pakistani supporter.
Sir, can I ask you a question?
She asked Narendra Modi ji to learn diplomatic lessons from Imran Khan.
Vijay Krishna, it's a simple
BJP
question.
has no locus standi to teach Hindutva lessons to Shiv Sena.
This is not the BJP. This is one of your own leaders, Mr. Shinde, who's saying it to you. Mr. Shinde is walking out, not the BJP. The BJP
Sir, please,
is the opposition.
Please talk about Nakkat Khan.
So is Shinde wrong? Is Shinde wrong? 1 minute.
In Pulwama, 40 soldiers martyred.
Sir, it's all true. You're all right. You're absolutely right.
In India.
Two wrongs don't make a right. So I'm asking you, sir.
Then you
I'm asking you. So, okay, so the answer from the Shiv Sena today viewers is very simple. Okay, Mr. Krishna.
In BJP.
Okay, so Mr. Krishna.
Pakistani supporter.
The BJP is the worst party. Okay?
You're right.
Is the worst party. It makes all the compromises. Why is the Shiv Sena doing it? I thought it was made of some different fabric. Does that explain why the Shiv Sena is compromising? Vijay Krishna, I'm asking you. You blame the BJP. But Shinde says, your own leader says, that the Shiv Sena is compromising. And let me tell you, viewers, there's another example I want to read out to you. Lower everyone's faders. There's another example I want to read out to you. I'm not going to indulge in people shouting tonight, viewers. So I'm going to lower everyone's faders. You please behave yourselves and you listen and answer the questions when they are posed. And I want to bring in Shubhrastha. Shubhrastha, Sanjay Jha had called for the word secular to be removed from the Constitution permanently in 2015. He said, we welcome the exclusion of the secular and socialist words from the Republic Day advertisement. Though it might have been done inadvertently, it is like honoring the feelings of the people of India. If these words were deleted by mistake this time, they should be deleted from the Constitution permanently. Shiv Sena MP Sanjay Jha said this in 2015. But when the Aghadi comes into power, it signs a common minimum program with the Congress. And in this common minimum program, the word secular is mentioned twice in its preamble. It says the alliance partners commit to uphold the secular values enshrined in the Constitution on the contentious issue of national importance as well of state importance, especially having repercussions, consequences on the secular fabric of the nation. The Shiv Sena, the NCP and the Congress will take a joint view after holding consultations and arriving at a consensus. Two flip-flops, viewers. So that's why I'm asking, Mr. Supariwala, you don't respect Bal Thakaray's viewpoint, which was honor the legacy of Veer Savarkar by giving him Bharat Ratna. Rahul Gandhi says Veer Savarkar was a Kair. Do you accept that? If you do, it's okay. You can answer me, because Uddhav Thackeray never criticized Rahul Gandhi for saying that Veer Savarkar was not Veer, he was a Kair, he was a coward. Do you accept that?
Can I go ahead?
Yes, please.
The answer your question is that Veer Savarkar, what you're talking about, is not ideology of Hindutva being compromised if Uddhav Sahib has not said something to Rahul, it's a difference of opinion and a political difference of opinion. We are not saying that he did good by insulting or not insulting, because we are not going into that right now. We are talking about being awarded the Bharat Ratna or not being awarded the Bharat Ratna. If my Sahib, Uddhav Sahib Thackeray, feels that he should be awarded, that is not questionable, entirely not questionable, because it is not an ideology of Hindutva or any religion, it is an ideology of politics.
Okay.
So if you are talking about ideologies, this is nothing to do with Hindutva. So let us just, let us not give it so much importance.
Let's not give it importance.
Spoil what we are talking about right now.
Okay. So you can throw out the word secularism, you can compromise on that, that's fine. You can compromise on Mr. Veer Savarkar, that's also okay. Shubhrastha, respond. Okay. Mr. Supariwala has made it clear. These issues don't matter to him.
Rahul, I am...
You are putting words in my mouth.
Okay.
Let me speak again.
Rahul, I am not a
let him finish. Let him finish.
To be able to answer why...
Yeah,
Mr. Sajid,
I will
can
answer.
I please
Let me
respond,
speak.
because
Rahulji, if you're asking me a question, let me answer.
Okay, Mr. Supariwala, go ahead. Make your point. What is the point you're making?
You can... Yeah. The thing is, when you're talking about secularism or not, let us ask BJP what they did with Mehbooba in Kashmir.
That's fine.
When they
Those are all wrong, sir. That is all wrong.
So
should the Shiv Sena be
also associated with BJP?
Okay.
Why do not you ask a question to BJP of the Hindutva?
Okay, Mr.
Why
Supariwala.
are you not asking a question to BJP?
Mr. Supariwala.
Why did they go ahead with Mufti Mehbooba? Tell me that, no?
Okay, you should ask that question of Mr. Okay, Supariwala, now keep quiet, please. You've gone on and on. Now, can you please keep quiet for 30 seconds?
Parties with a skull cap.
Okay, fair enough. Now keep quiet. Let's listen to Shubhrastha. She's coming in.
Why was he wearing the Islamic dress, wearing skull cap, and going to iftar parties and sitting with their Muslim and eating non-veg food over there? I have photos. I have photographic evidences.
Okay.
Mr. Ashish Shelar is going to Mr. Haidar Azam's house and opening iftar. So where is the Hindutva gone now?
Okay, but this question you should ask of Mr. Shinde, who is the one who is lined up in Surat with your MLAs. Let me ask Shubhrastha to respond to Mr. Supariwala. They are constantly asking the BJP when it is Mr. Shinde, their own minister, who has rebelled. So can you explain to Mr. Supariwala why perhaps he should be asking questions not of the BJP today, but his own minister, who has run away with MLAs? Can you explain?
Yeah. Rahul, I have actually nothing to talk to a panelist who uses word like Mohammedan food. I mean, there's nothing called a Muslim food or a Hindu food. I don't particularly endorse the version of secularism or whatever version of cohabitants that this guy is proposing on television. So I have nothing to tell him. I just have a very common point to make. What we are seeing in Maharashtra is a classic case of...
And what about collaborating with Mehbooba Mufti?
Mr. Supariwala, why are you asking a question to the BJP through me? Have a conversation with Mr. Shinde. He's right there making your representation to the BJP. Ask him to route those questions to the BJP. Please don't ask panelists of the show to, take forward your questions. I'm not here to defend the BJP. I'm here to ask questions to you. If you are so steadfast in your ideology, then why can't you just have a word with Mr. Sanjay Jha, who is sitting right over here? He is your partner. As of now, your government has not fallen. Why don't you guys figure it out among yourselves?
Okay, one second. Big news coming in. Big news coming in. More developments on the ground. Viewers, let me just go straight across to our reporters. Let's go straight across to Arunil. Shinde has snubbed the Sena. The questions are not being asked of Mr. Shinde, the rebel leader. They are constantly asking them of the BJP. Mr. Supariwala doesn't know what's happening behind him and his back. He's being stabbed by Mr. Shinde. Mr. Shinde says, I have left. I am now in Surat with MLAs and I'm going to bring down your government because you have betrayed the cause of Hindutva, which was so dear to Balasaheb Thackeray. Supariwala doesn't want to see it. Neither does Mr. Reddy want to see it. So we have a situation, viewers, where the Sena is imploding. And Pawar is meeting his own team, his NCP leaders. Arunil, what's going on? Is Sharad Pawar now also exiting? Will he end up joining the BJP?
Well, this is an extremely significant development, Rahul, because we have been reporting from the Varsha residence of CM Uddhav Thackeray. It was Sharad Pawar, the senior most leader of the Maha Vikas Aghadi. He was expected to come from Delhi, come as the savior for CM Uddhav Thackeray, basically put his house in order. His leaders had arrived over here, but what Sharad Pawar did was, after arriving in Mumbai, he directly went to his Silver Oak residence and he called his MLAs and his party leaders at his place directly. He didn't come to the official residence of CM Uddhav Thackeray. So when people were expecting that Sharad Pawar will bail out CM Uddhav Thackeray, will save this Maha Vikas Aghadi government, he's having a meeting with his own party leaders at his residence. Now, what conclusions we can draw from this? It is very much evident that Sharad Pawar, obviously in the time of this need, was expected to be with CM Uddhav Thackeray, but he had made his intentions very clear in Delhi only, basically saying that this is an internal problem of the Shiv Sena and CM Uddhav Thackeray himself has to solve it.
Okay, Vijay Krishna, please come in. Vijay Krishna, the problem is that your own leader has deserted you. This has got nothing to do with the BJP. Arunil is saying so. NCP is also holding a meeting now. They are also evaluating their position. The entire government is coming down around you and you are still finding fault with the BJP. That's not going to help. Mr. Shinde needs to be convinced. The only way he has said you can be convinced is if you break ties with the Congress and join the BJP. Will you do that?
One second, Rahul Shankar. I have an empirical evidence. Quite a few years ago, hope you recollect it, the same issue happened in Karnataka, wherein a few Congress MLAs were allegedly kidnapped by BJP and kept in Maharashtra. And today the same incident happened. Shiv Sena MLAs were lured into submission by Devendra Fadnavis, who is bent on forming a BJP government back in Maharashtra. So the same thing happened in Madhya Pradesh. Ye Aya Ram, Gaya Ram ka vishay hai. You're not speaking, you're not sending right message to the public. Today democracy has been defeated. Today is a black day for democracy. And quite a few days ago, Honorable Pant Pradhan Modi ji, I see him picking a bottle, plastic bottle in a tunnel, newly opened tunnel, because it was called Vyarth. When Narendra Modi ji stands for Swachh Bharat, why doesn't Narendra Modi stand for Swachh Bharat, Swachh politics?
Okay.
This is defection politics.
This is
today
defection.
you might win.
Please respond.
But
this is defection politics. It's got nothing to do with ideology. Vijay Krishna responding. Yes.
Rahul, the epitome of dirty politics was when a party which fought an election on a pre-poll alliance with BJP, just for the post of CM, they deserted the BJP, they deserted their core ideology and joined hands with Congress and NCP. Congress, which was called cancer in no less words by their own founding father, Bala Saheb Thackeray. And NCP, which was called an opportunist. Let's not forget, NCP was a party when Sharad Pawar was CM. He invented this lie about the 13th bomb blast on 12th March.
No, you speak about Fadnavis
just to appease a certain community.
Count karega at Brahma Muhurtam swearing in ceremony, man.
All about the choices you make.
Thoda
when
morality rakho. Please hold your conscience.
With Congress and NCP, people saw through their nefarious designs. This was not the mandate people gave them. This was an alliance cobbled out of connivance, cobbled out of opportunism, and the fact is people feel let down. And today, the Shiv Senics feel let down more than ever before. Eknath Shinde has hit a raw nerve, and people and the Shiv Senics are going to gravitate towards that because morality...
So let me bring in Sanjay Jha on this point. Let me bring in Sanjay Jha. Sanjay Jha, the question will be asked. Why did the Congress decide to grasp the Shiv Sena nettle? A party that salutes Veer Savarkar, that the Congress says was responsible for the conspiracy to assassinate Mahatma Gandhi, or the mindset, right? The second mindset excludes Muslims. Thirdly, a party that espoused a parochial politics, which meant that Tamils, and North Indians would have to be expelled from the state. Why did the Congress, that believes that it is a holistic secular party, go and join up with the Shiv Sena?
You know why, Rahul? I'm very proud that the Shiv Sena did not embarrass the country and damage its brand, not just in the Middle East and all over the world, by having his spokesperson insult the Prophet and make a mockery of this country. That's why I prefer a Shiv Sena any day to the BJP. You know, Hindutva, by the way, was supposed to be inclusive. You want to see what it has done to this country? Lynching, deaths, love jihad, wapsi, bulldozer. This is what the BJP has become. Divisive, and it plays the British game of divide and rule in this country. The Shiv Sena, by the way, let me tell you, I am part of the Congress, but I need to tell you, in Mumbai today, Shiv Sena is being applauded by people, including liberals, for the good work they have done in containing COVID in Mumbai under Mr. Aghadi's leadership. It cannot be denied its tourism. Now, let me tell you the second point. The elephant in the room, Rahul, is the Sam, Nam, Dun, Bait politics of Shah and Operation Lotus Trade. Why is the entire dramatic theater of the kidnapping of the MLAs happening in Gujarat? Can somebody answer that? This is reprehensible.
Mr. Rajagopalan, respond. The Congress says that they're proud of the Shiv Sena, they secularize the Shiv Sena. Mr. Rajagopalan, what's wrong with that?
The Congress is in a very great crisis. Today, Sharad Pawar and Mamata Banerjee have put the Congress by announcing Yashwant Sinha as the candidate. Today is a major defeat day for Congress politically because Congress has been sidelined by 7 state political parties, Rahul Shivashankar. Now Sanjay Jha is talking about Hindutva, etc.
Okay.
Eknath Shinde has taught you a lesson.
Eknath Shinde has taught you the lesson. Shubhrastha, can I ask you this question? Can Uddhav Thackeray now blame the revolt on the BJP this time? Rajagopalan says it's Mr. Shinde, who's a Shiv Sainik, who has taught Uddhav Thackeray a lesson or two.
Yes, Rahul, I think it's very difficult for people who, for politicians on the ground who have to face the ire and the love, both of the Karyakartas, to explain to them the ideological, flip-flops that their party has been making for quite some time. Mr. Shinde's point is a very valid point. Now, technically, it should have happened through an internal discussion, but I don't know what the protocol in the Shiv Sena is. Is Uddhav Thackeray as democratic as Balasaheb Thackeray or not is something that is up for people to see. But then the point is that now this internal weakness of the Shiv Sena is out in the open. BJP might as well exploit it in its favor, and why not? It's a political party, it's not an NGO. Nobody is running an NGO in this country when they say they are in the business of winning elections and when they are in the business of doing politics. So I don't understand why is this ideological question suddenly becoming such an sore eye for either the Shiv Sena or the Congress or the NCP. It's pretty simple. You have not been able to put your house in order.
Okay.
If there are there are these allegations about
Mr.
members being bought,
keep it on two window and let's go straight back to Mr. Supariwala responding now to Shubhrastha. Yes, Mr. Supariwala, you have not been able to keep your house in order. Your MLAs have run away to Surat. Why are you blaming the BJP? And why shouldn't the BJP take advantage? It's not running an NGO. Yes.
Can I say now?
Yeah.
The first thing with my statement will be, this is the final statement of Uddhav Sahib Thackeray has always been that I have never left Hindutva, though I have collaborated with the NCP and Congress, but I have never left the Hindutva, which has been taught to me from Balasaheb Thackeray's time. If people in his party, any person in his party feels, they can definitely come and talk to Uddhav Sahib and not run away. The problem here is technical. It is in party. Whatever is happening, let them sort it out. Let us come to a conclusion. Let me just clear one thing, that Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray has not given up the Hindutva, because his Hindutva ideology is definitely the right Hindutva ideology of having inclusive Hindutva, not divisive Hindutva. He doesn't like, because Hindutva itself proves that it is about humanity, it is about brethren, it is about taking people along, and it is about progress and not creating violence. It is about.
So you mean to
everybody together.
So you mean to say Bal Thackeray's Hindutva was about violence and dividing people?
All the religions have taught this.
Okay, so Bal Thackeray clearly was then divisive because Bal Thackeray went on to say that Bal Thackeray went on to say that he was very proud of the fact that the Babri Masjid was demolished within 17 minutes. Was that divisive?
Can I come back?
Was Bal Thackeray divisive?
You are remembering the Babri Masjid. You are remembering every time the Babri Masjid, but you are forgetting that how many masjid, that is a court ka decision which has happened later on. Now we are talking about, what about the masjids which have got FSI of 4 in the time of Balasaheb Thackeray? What about the BKC Ijtema, which was, 1 minute, I'm coming to that. Can I come back to you, Shubhrastha ji?
I haven't even asked a question. What are you coming to?
Can you allow me to answer it?
But she has not asked you the question.
I haven't even asked a question.
Mr.
What
Rahul
are you
has
coming
asked me a
back
question.
to?
Can I answer
you are giving, you don't want to address the Babri Masjid issue. Address the Palghar issue. Palghar issue happened in Uddhav Thackeray's rule. Address the issue. What did you do for the ideology of Hindutva when in Palghar sadhus were lynched in broad daylight? What did you do? No Shiv Sainik worth their salt came on national television to talk about it. And Shiv Sainiks on the ground who had to bear the brunt are with Eknath Shinde today.
Let the proofs
What
come
are you
out.
talking, Mr. Supariwala? Please, I am not going to take any lecture on secularism from you. Please do not give me lectures on secularism here.
Okay, well, look.
I am not giving you any lecture on secularism.
One second. Just note everyone's status views. I just want to say a couple of things here. Alliances based on convenience have a short life. I'll run you through some of the examples. Congress and JDS in Karnataka collapsed. Congress and Samajwadi Party in Uttar Pradesh, alliance lost the 2017 poll. Samajwadi Party and BSP in Uttar Pradesh, alliance lost the 2019 poll. Congress ISF left in West Bengal, alliance lost the 2021 poll. Congress AUDF in Assam, alliance lost 2021 poll. Remember, the AUDF was defined by Gogoi, no other, but by Mr. Gogoi as a party that was communal. But the Congress tied up, lost. Congress, RJD, JDU alliance collapsed in Bihar in 2017. BJP, PDP in Jammu and Kashmir alliance collapsed in 2017 and 2018. Just within a year and a half, it collapsed. So viewers, these alliances of convenience don't last. Breaking news coming in. We are being told, viewers, that there are more Sena rebels landing up in Surat. Why are they going to Surat? Let's try to get a reaction from Shivani on this. Shivani, when are they expected and what is the number?
Well, here, Rahul, clearly 32 of Shiv Sena MLAs are already inside, excluding 4 independent MLAs as well. More of MLAs are expected. We are expecting 3 more MLAs will be landing here in Surat, in that particular hotel where we are reporting outside from. In fact, security has even more beefed up, and all of those people, those are entering this hotel premises, are firstly checked their passes, their ID cards, and an inside call from the MLAs or the PAs of Mr. Shinde. Then only they'll be allowed to move inside. But yes, 3 more MLAs will be landing in Surat by tonight, late night. That is what we are learning as of now from our sources, that after the meetings, those are being conducted with respect to the NCP meetings are going on. Shiv Sena is conducting their separate meetings, and after this particular series of
first images from where Mr. Shinde is camping, that's the hotel. Let's just take Shivani full frame there with these pictures. I want to go straight across to Shivani. Shivani, these photographs are emerging now from inside that resort in Surat. I can't say who these individuals are. The photos are a little blurred. But Shivani, clearly, these are pictures of Shiv Sainiks there. Who they are exactly, how many they are, still unknown. What are your sources telling you? Shivani.
Well, here, first of all, these images clearly are telling us that these are the MLAs, and these images are from the cafeteria where we can see at least few of the cops inside. Those are the local cops of Gujarat, and around 7 to 8 MLAs. Those are sitting together on a table in the cafeteria area. These visuals are from the morning hours of the day, where we already saw that how it was a late night yesterday, where Mr. Shinde along with 11 other MLAs left for Surat and reached out in this particular hotel in the morning hours. And after, yes, as I am viewing this visual, the local cops are already inside, and there are few of the PS, those are there inside. There are at least 4
these
to 5
visuals
MLAs
now,
on the table, and yes, of course,
confirmation of the fact that Mr. Shinde is there not alone. He's there with some number of Shiv Sainik MLAs. How many, we don't know, viewers. We are being told that there might be as many as 26. We are being told that another batch of 13 are on their way to join Shinde in Surat. If that is indeed the case, and there will therefore be pictures and videos circulating, that means the rebel faction stands at 39. And that's the number which is required, really 36 is required to not fall foul of the anti-defection law. So those are the first visuals, the first confirmation only on Times Now that Shinde is not alone. He is there with a bunch of MLAs. How many exactly, we don't know. Pranesh Kumar joins us. Pranesh Kumar Roy joins us from the Newspit. Pranesh, these pictures, first visual evidence.
Absolutely, first visual evidence. And what do we see in this short clip that we have managed to access from inside the Lee Meridian Hotel in Surat, Rahul, is look at the number of policemen there. It outnumbers the number of people in plain clothes, and we have been told that all these people who are standing in lobby are actually closest confidants of the Sena rebels, who are 27 in numbers. 27 is the number of Sena MLAs currently at the resort, and we are also being told, Rahul, that in about 2.5 hours now from now, this number from 27 is set to increase and is likely to touch 33 to 36. We are not sticking our neck out. We don't know. This is all source-based stuff, but this video is exclusive. First pictures, visual evidence of what's unfolding inside the Surat Hotel. One of the 27 MLAs who's inside the Surat Hotel was complaining of uneasiness. He was taken to the Surat hospital. We have those visuals also. Right now, what you can see, this is from not very far from the main lobby. Supporters of the Sena rebels standing there, standing guard, as also the Gujarat policemen.
Let me go straight back to Shivani. Shivani, just stay, Pranesh, stay with us. I just want to bring Shivani into this. Shivani, we are now, of course, being told that a whole bunch of new Sena MLAs are going to be landing in Surat. Are they coming via car, or are they going to be flying into Surat? Can you confirm that?
Well, Rahul, interestingly, there are 5 MLAs. Those have already landed in Surat, in fact, with their, chartered plane, but they have yet not got off on the roads and are yet to arrive at this particular hotel where we are standing right now. And what I have been told, there was last and one only flight at 8:30 p.m. from Mumbai to Surat. That is the flight we are expecting that some of the MLAs might turn into. And yes, of course, in the morning hours, we saw that how a bunch of 9 MLAs had taken roadways, and from their cars they started arriving in Surat. So that is also very much likely. But yes, as we said, 5 MLAs are already in Surat, yet they are not out from their apartments. They are yet to come this particular hotel. But of course, the other set of people can either come from the one flight at 8:30 p.m. from Mumbai to Surat, and others might just land up on the roadway. So yes, the clarity is still awaited, because none of them are answering our calls. Most of their phones are yet not reachable or either switched off. That is why the confirmation is very much awaited. But yes, of course, there are only 2 ways they can come to. That is a flight, which is the last and the only flight, or either the roadways. But yes, 5 are already there in the Surat. Yes, of course, their visuals and their arrival at this hotel
let me go
will
back
definitely
to Pranesh
bring more numbers and changes in the tally.
Okay, Pranesh, there has been no other visual evidence prior to this, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, of the MLAs present in this Surat resort. Point 1, and point 2, most importantly, no visual confirmation of the exact number of Shinde MLAs.
Absolutely, Rahul, spot on both those points. This is the first visual evidence of Sena rebels from inside the hotel. And also, remember the point that you made in the 6 p.m. show, that even the Sena camp, the Uddhav camp, the Uddhav faction of the Shiv Sena, even they have not come out with visual evidence showing that, look, we have the numbers. Arunil told us that only 16 MLAs turned up for the meet. This was the third meeting with the Chief Minister, and all that the Uddhav faction could manage was 16 MLAs, and we are being told that at 9:40, in about 40-45 minutes from now, Devendra Fadnavis is landing, one BJP MLA who is also a former minister when the BJP was in power in Maharashtra, is Sanjay Jha, if I'm not wrong with the name. He's already camping with the Sena rebels. He has a direct hotline with Fadnavis. He's sending out important messages minute by minute. So Fadnavis is seized of what's happening there. Fadnavis is also aware about the ultimatum that Shinde has given to Uddhav Thackeray, which is that dump Congress and NCP and join the NDA, and then we will come over.
It's going to be a long night, viewers, long night for Uddhav Thackeray, who's sitting obviously on tenterhooks. We are being now told that roughly 30 MLAs might not actually be in touch with the Uddhav Thackeray faction of the Shiv Sena. That is what our sources tell us. Is this hyperbolic? We don't know. But the fact is that even Uddhav Thackeray has not produced any photographic evidence to suggest that the numbers that are being quoted in the media, especially here on Times Now, are wrong. He held a meeting here in the evening with his MLAs. We were told by a reporter, Arunil, who was right outside Varsha counting all the cars going in and the MLAs going in, that there were only 16 MLAs in attendance. Where are the other 30? That's the big question tonight. Will Uddhav Thackeray be able to ascertain that, and will he be able to win them back if indeed they are plotting to bring down his government? I'll leave it at that. On the news hour, Navika Kumar takes this forward. Viewers, more updates. Don't